Good day, my friends. So, today's YouTube video actually related to what happened yesterday. You see, I was sitting in a cafe having a good time, and just sitting beside me were a couple who apparently were having some sort of an argument. And throughout this whole conversation, or the time that I spent there, I couldn't help myself but overhearing part of that conversation. And based on that, I think I reached out to kind of a point on why this argument started in the first place, and I want to share it with you because it's really important, especially if you're dating someone. So sit back and relax and let's get on. You see, we're often finding ourselves in situations or circumstances where we feel like we want to help people and be kind to them, but at the same time, we don't really know what to offer. You see, we want to deepen that connection with people generally, but we always seem like we lack something and we lack a real grasp of what really to offer in the first place. But it's around that time when we should always realize that there's something within us almost anyone will need, and that is a need of reassurance. You see, life is like an ongoing roller coaster of ups and downs. One day you're here, and one day you're there, right? And we're always haunted by doubts about our values or identity or futures, and being haunted by depression, anxiety, of course, with some happiness, in the mix here and there. But there's something we can all count that all people have, and that is all people have insecurities, and all people have some levels of depression in them. That means that, more or less, almost all people will be longing for someone to say something nice and soothing to them. A word that makes them feel heard and have the right to exist. And that we still have faith in them. You see, these words might be still very small on the paper, but actually they leave a very huge impact. It tells them that we know how the past few months were hard on them. It tells them how we found ourselves thinking about them ever since, and how we've noticed and admired the way they go through things, and that they deserve a break, and now we're here to reassure that. But this is where things get a bit foggy here, because sometimes people mistake reassurance with flattery. You see, flattery involves a lie to gain an advantage or an upper hand, whereas reassurance involves revealing or exposing a genuine affection for that person in order to reassure someone's ability to endure. We flatter to extract benefit. We reassure in order to help. You see, reassurance is a very beautiful thing because it reminds us why we cared in the first place and why we chose that person to be our partner or best friend. It really comforts us to hear that we mean the world to him or her. Now, at this stage, many people will say stuff like, things will be okay at the end, nothing to be ashamed of. Now, despite how basic these words are, but we still need to hear them, especially when we're suffering, because the mind have a tendency in hard times to forget about the positive things, forget about the nourishing truths. Because in these desperate times, the mind is actually busy trying to process the pain, trying to figure out a way out of there, right? So, what happened yesterday, unfortunately, with the couple's case, I don't think actually that happened. I believe that one of the couples refused to compromise. A better approach would have been something like, let's pretend it's the guy who's having a problem. A better approach that a girl should have just sat there and just zip it and let the guy just speak it all out, because in suffering and desperate times, suffering souls actually, all they need is just for someone to hear them out, because in these times, most of people actually, they don't want to be advised, they just want to be heard. And obviously that didn't happen yesterday. And another positive approach actually that could have taken them to a very good level, that didn't happen obviously yesterday, was something like if the girl says something to the guy and the likes of, I know everything will be okay at the end, but I know at least it's not now, and I acknowledge your pain, and I'm here by your side, you're strong enough and you have faith in yourself, and I'm gonna be here by your side, we're gonna go through it together, we're gonna tackle it together, and I love you. Things like this actually, despite how small or big they are to you, but they really have that initial intrinsic power within them to really shift the dynamic of the emotional state from being this low at least to a better stage, in the hopes of making it better in the next few days. So I hope that made sense to you, and I think the couples already had enough from me in this video. So, see you.